Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. I want to do a quick preview and prediction of tonight's game against the Cleveland Browns. Both teams coming to this game 1-1 off of pretty tough Week 2 losses, so a lot to be gained tonight. When you talk about the Browns offense, obviously you talk about their run game and their two-headed attack of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Right now, through just 2 weeks, the Browns lead the NFL with over 200 yards rushing per game, Chubb averaging almost 6 yards per carry. And we talk so much, myself included, when we focus on the Browns run game about their zone run scheme, their inside zone paired with the wide zone. But they do a lot of gap runs as well. You know, they're not an Alex Gibbs or Kyle Shanahan-based exclusive zone run type of offense. They do a ton of pin and pull. They got a couple of really talented guards that are, I think, underrated league-wide, and Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller at right guard especially. And those guys can really get out in space. And so you have to defend the inside zone, of course, but you better be able to defend their gap scheme and their power scheme as well, because they get their big guys on the move and they're talented, and their backs do a really good job of following their block. So run assignments, pursuit, backside pursuit will be, I think, critical tonight, both in zone schemes and gap schemes. That's going to be the key to minimizing the Browns' run game. Pittsburgh, to their credit, despite how bad they were last year, did it in both those games. They'll have to do it again tonight. When it comes to the Browns' passing game, obviously Jacoby Brissett filling in for Deshaun Watson, and the run game sets up the pass game. They want to stay on schedule. They want to stay in rhythm, and that creates play action and things like that. I think one name that gets overlooked when it comes to the Browns is Amari Cooper. You know, he was that first domino in the receiver market to fall this past offseason. The market went, bananas, but Cooper was that first guy, and really the Browns got him for a steal before everyone else started getting paid and going for big value overall. And he had a quiet week 1, Cooper did, but against the Jets last week had 9 catches on 10 targets with a touchdown. And so that's a guy that has to be accounted for. Akella Witherspoon has had a tough start to the year. He's going to have to play his best game of the year tonight to match up against a guy like Amari Cooper. Obviously, Pittsburgh's pass rush will have to be greatly improved from where it was in week 2 when they had no sacks and just 3 quarterback hits on Mac Jones. Part of that obviously means minimizing the run game and putting the Browns behind the sticks and things like that. But still, even against the Patriots, there were, rush opportunities this team could have been able to take advantage of, and they just simply did not. And the same should be the case tonight against the Browns. So I'm watching Alex Highsmith in particular, now this team's best edge rusher with TJ Watt, of course, out. Highsmith has had plenty of success against Browns left tackle Jedrick Wills, really with inside counters and spins. He's really done a good job of consistently winning that way. So that will be important. I wonder if this defense can find ways to cover up the center more to try to give Hayward some more one-on-one opportunities, but he'll have a tough matchup, of course, facing a veteran guy in Joel Bitonio. And really, this coaching staff will have to manufacture some pressure, which is something that they're not accustomed to doing. Usually the philosophy's been just rush your standard 4 and drop 7. The blitz rates the last couple of years have really come down for the Steelers. That's going to have to change. Now, does that mean you have to send 7 guys every single time? No, there are safe 4-man pressures and things like that, but you better find a way to scheme up pressure, because it's going to be difficult for that to naturally come against a good offensive line when you're missing a guy like TJ Watt. Defensively for the Browns, their defensive line is hurting. They're missing Jadeveon Clowney. Chase Winovich is on IR. Myles Garrett is playing, but he's dealing with some sort of neck injury. But that'll be a big test and task for Dan Moore, although I will say Garrett will play inside as a 3-tech on some passing downs, so it's not him exclusively as a right defensive end against Dan Moore, especially in some obvious pass moments. So Kevin Dotson, for example, may see some of Myles Garrett tonight, and that's going to be a critical matchup there. Obviously, they're pretty weak in the middle, the Browns are, in the sense of the big run stuffers. So if you're going to run the ball, I think you want to go between the tackles, although they are a bit prone to some of the perimeter run game as well, the jet runs. I thought the Jets had success on that in week 2, and that's something that's very much in vogue in this offense. So I could see a Chase Claypool or a Gunnar Olszewski, on an end around or a jet play, try to get the edge and get some yards off of that. But they're a fast, slow defense. The Browns are, generally speaking, they're more quick than strong. They got some D tackles to penetrate, and JOK in the middle's one of the best athletes in terms of off-ball linebackers in football. He moves like a safety, just a really freaky kind of guy. So you have to know where he's at. But I would say more inside zone, not a lot of gap scheme. Pittsburgh doesn't do that a lot in the run game anyway. But when you have those pullers, you get some backside openings there, and guys can shoot through and make plays and disrupt. So they're a one-gap scheme, so being able to reach and cut off and not allow penetration will be key for this run game to to be better than where it's been at. Coverage-wise, the Browns are a primary zone-based team from the first 2 weeks, and they've actually really struggled in terms of just blowing coverages. In both the Panthers game and Jets game last week, they blew coverages in the fourth quarter that allowed the Panthers to come back and almost win, and the Jets to come back and actually complete that comeback. And so they've had a lot of self-inflicted wounds. Hopefully that means Pittsburgh can take advantage, but that's really just the Browns thing, and obviously I'm sure they're trying to rep and correct those core vital issues they've had defensively. They have some good players, whether you're talking Greg Newsome or Denzel Ward or John Johnson in the secondary. So it's really just a matter of, yes, can you push the ball down the field, but can Mitch Trubisky make, routine plays? Because he's taken too many bad sacks. He's missed more throws underneath. He's missed some open guys that would have been some really opportunistic plays for this offense. Frankly, while there's certainly value and validity to the idea this team has to push the ball downfield, they do. I think the concerns with Trubisky are as much, if not more, on the bad sacks, on those negative plays, on missing some easy reads that's hamstringing an already limited offense. So my prediction tonight, really, I don't have a good sense of this one, and as you guys know, I'm kind of the kiss of death when it comes to picking these games, so generally running the other direction. So you actually may not like my prediction tonight. I have the Steelers winning this one 16-13. Low scoring, a lot of field goals, take the under kind of game. I don't know really what's compelling me to pick Pittsburgh other than the fact of their success in terms of stopping the run or minimizing the run against the Browns last year, and the run defense is certainly better this year than what it was in 2021, and you get a close game with a good kicker like Boz. Now the Browns have a good kicker finally in Cade York, so that's something to consider as well, but I think if Pittsburgh can minimize that run game, it'll take the Browns out of the blueprint they've worked off of the first 2 weeks, and frankly, Pittsburgh's defense has made a bit fewer mistakes than Cleveland's has overall, and that may be the deciding factor in this one. But certainly a big game. Both teams really pining and really wanting, of course, to go 2-1 on this short week, beat a divisional opponent. For Pittsburgh, they can go 2-0 in the North, 2-1 after 3 weeks. All the negativity that existed after the Pats game washes away if you beat the Browns tonight. So those are my thoughts on tonight's game. Of course, we'll be recapping it on Steelers Depot after the game and throughout the week. Let me know your thoughts and your score prediction in the comments below. If you guys could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would certainly appreciate that. Again, thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.